Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another Mountain Man Monday. Today is live stream episode number 65, and the date is March the 8th, 2021. I want to welcome everyone that joins me here live this evening on a Monday night. I hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. And anyone who might be watching later on delay on the Mr. Mountain Man YouTube channel, as always, you can find all the live streams archived under the live stream playlist. Again, hope everybody's having a great start to their week. Thank you for your patience in me getting up and running. As always, there's a lot of stuff going on, so I have to get organized and assemble before I reach out to you all every Monday night. Looking forward to a little nice conversation, what's happening here in the mountains and beyond, and wherever you are as well. I know we got some people checking in here, and I want to say hello to everyone. So we've got Hope Faith. Hey, Mr. Mountain Man, how are you doing today? I'm doing well. I hope you are as well. First in chat, that is right. First across the start line there. That is really cool. We got AZ Rock coming in there. Hey, Hope Faith, number one. And who else? Living Like Larry. Happy Mr. Mountain Man Monday. How are you? Doing great. How are you doing up there in Ohio, Larry? Hope things are well. We got Story Has It. Hello to you. We've got Lily. Mr. Mountain Man can't stay, but happy Monday. Have a great week. You as well. Lily checked out a couple of your wintertime videos this week, and very interesting. The winters up there where you live and the amount of snow that you get. The only thing I know comparable is some of the lake effect snow that I witnessed growing up. Up there near Erie, Pennsylvania, and such, coming off of Lake Erie. Which, speaking of which, my parents are here. Hello, Mom and Dad. Hope you're doing well, and I love you guys, and hope everything's great for you. Let's see who else is in here. Everybody's saying hello to each other, and we also have Coaster Mom. Good evening, everyone, to you as well. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're having a great start to your week. A nice Monday. Let us know how you are doing. We got Foxy Wolf here Monday night, so it must be a Mr. Mountain Man live stream. And as tradition, when Foxy says that, we show the White Lab Workshop, Mr. Mountain Man hammer. Let's see if I can get it in there for a little flex of and a smile. All right, glad to be here with you guys on a Monday, and hope everybody again is doing well. And hopefully, live stream's coming in clear. Tried to do the old trick of getting this thing fired up a little bit earlier. It's it's getting the week rolling. I mean, with the family and the kids and everything that's going on, it just takes a while to get everybody organized and things going on. So that's usually why it's a little bit later on Monday. Everything's very busy, but I know you guys are waited patiently, and I do appreciate it. Let's see here. We have who else? Kentucky Girl's here. Hello, Mr. Mountain Man. Hello to you. I hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Let us know how you are doing. Let me see. The chat jumped on me. Blah, blah, blah. Where is my spot? Oh, let's see. Lots of hellos. And Chad Loveless, haven't seen you in a while. Good evening, Mr. Mountain Man, everyone. How's everyone doing tonight? Love your logo, Mr. Mountain Man. I appreciate that. It's very cool. And if you look at the mountains, you probably already picked up on it, but it's the 3 M's are the shape of the mountains. So Mr. Mountain Man incorporated into it. It's very cool. I do like it as well. And there's also a new one over on the Eclectic Handyman as well. Let's see. Got to grill some steaks, 63 and sunny. That's what I'm hearing from most everybody. As I kind of look up, because I have this fan in it, I'm feeling a little bit cool right now. I should probably reach up and turn that thing off. If you don't mind for a second, let me do that. There we go. All right, we got it. Oh, and I probably took myself out of focus. It's that weird time of the year where, it's warm during the day, but it still reminds us that it's winter time at night. So it's still cool. I don't need the fan running, but I'm glad you got 60 degrees. We were about 60 here in the mountains. I talked to some friends in Minnesota. It was about 60 up there today. So spring is starting to show itself. And actually, I don't know where everyone's at, but I'm starting to see buds on the trees, especially some of the ones that show red in color. That doesn't mean they have red leaves, but they have red colored buds. Those are starting to show when you look at like a bunch of trees and what, that's together, you'll start to see some red hue to them, and it's pretty cool. Spring is, at least here in Western North Carolina, is around the corner. The warm temperatures will continue this week, and it doesn't mean that we couldn't get surprised. I mean, March, even the beginning of April, can offer a surprise cold dip. But right now we're looking to have more warm days than cold days, which means if you are into having a green lawn and green grass if you have a lawn, because I know some people may not have a grass lawn, or some people who live out west have rocks for a lawn and other things. But if you do, great time of the year. Depending on where you are, might be a little early to put pre-emergent crabgrass preventer. What that does is that prevents all the crabgrass from coming out into your yard before it starts. I usually pick up a bag from Lowe's, put a little bit of that down, and then we'll wait till probably April, put a nice fertilizer down, maybe overseed, and then bingo, you get some nice green grass when summertime comes. So anyway, looking forward to doing some of that, because it's nice when I get a break from the doing the yard work when it's the off season, I guess winter time. But then it's, it's nice I enjoy it. There's nothing like a fresh cut lawn when it's 70 degrees, 80 degrees, and it's pretty nice. So let's see who else here. I got a little bit behind. Glad you got those steaks, Larry. I hope they were good. What kind of steaks were they, by the way? Let us know. We got Ted and Deborah Harrison here. Greetings, Mr. Mountain and everyone in the chat. Greetings to you as well. Hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Let's see. Who else do we have here? Just want to make sure that I say hello. And if I miss anybody, please just put it right back in the chat, because it's not intentional. Wonderful start to the week, says Coaster Mom. That is good, because let's be frank, Monday is not always the most fun day of the week. There's a lot of people that run on a Monday to Friday cycle for work, and people are grumpy on Monday. I mean, everybody knows that. I mean, you have the freedom of the weekend, everything you want to do. And depending on how folks, if they like their, what they're doing or not, or if they're back in the grind, even just if they're not working, it's just back to running errands or doing whatever. Some people are grumpy. So it's always nice kind of to change that tune to end a Monday. As I've said before, it'd be a lot easier to do this on Friday, I think, as far as weekly morale for everybody. But we got Jennifer Rathbone here. Hello, Mr. Mountain Man and everyone. Hello to you as well. Hope you're doing very well. Another Carolinian there, and glad to have you here on Monday. Everybody's saying howdy, 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 howdy. I'm not going to be able to type for a little bit. I'm listening, though. I'm going to be doing eardrops. Oh, okay, no problem. Yeah, and I always am curious curious. I always wonder if there are any folks that prefer just to listen, not to chat. I mean, there's some live streams that I do that. Like sometimes, as I mentioned, I'm not always able to participate in other folks' live streams, but sometimes if I'm driving in the car, I will put on a live stream, and obviously I can't, type or anything. So I just listen in the background. Sometimes when I'm doing some work around the house or something, I'll put a live stream on the background. So very typical. Want to wish or extend a warm welcome to anybody who might be new or listening for the first or second time, newer to the channel. We welcome you. Welcome to join in. If you're watching this on delay, feel free to leave a comment below, or just say howdy, or just listen to it like a podcast or whatever. I hope you enjoy the conversation, and you're having a great start to your week. Let's see who else is in here. Am I the only one not getting video? I hope the video is coming through. Feel free to give me a check on the audio and video tonight. Anybody, we kind of do that here with that fantastic mountain internet. Have to enjoy it this week. Come back down to 40 next week. And yeah, and this is when people can get like cold and flus, because it's like, oh, I'm going to wear shorts and a t-shirt, and then they're outside, and then the next day, winter snaps back, and it's crazy. My mom's tulips are coming up about an inch in southeast Wisconsin. Yeah, we talked a little bit about that last week. I believe it is the tulips or daffodils or buttercups or whatever. We got them too. They're sprouting up all over the place, and they're yellow. I think there might be some white ones mixed in there too, but yeah, the flowers are starting to bloom, the trees, little buds on them. Still overall, when you look at a wide view, it looks like a brown winter, like I posted on Instagram. Looking good here, Chad. Good. Thank you for the report. Glad that it is doing okay. Thank you. Great reminder here. I probably should have put that in the news, notes, or housekeeping. Clocks spring forward this weekend. Spring is not far behind. That is right. Now, I do like it. I don't know. What you guys tell me what you think. I do like it when we get when it stays light later in the day. I do not care for when it gets dark at 5:36, 6:30. I much prefer it getting dark after 8 o'clock at night. And so that's just my preference. I don't like losing the hour on the weekend. Believe it or not, 1 hour feels like, for some reason, it feels like a day. I don't know why, but I at least you get the benefit. You lose the hour, but you get the nicer uh, the light later in the day. So in North Carolina, you have buds instead of Coors. Oh, sorry, get my kicks where I can. Buds instead of Coors. If you're talking about beer, there's both. I must have missed the reference. I don't know. Maybe I said something. I tell you guys all the time. I say something, then I don't connect the dots, and then I sound like a nincompoop because I'm like, and you guys are probably like, you were just talking about that. So yeah. Let's see here. Yes, we are all ready for spring. If you appreciate the seasons. Let's see. Oh, ribeyes. Very good steak on sale at Kroger. Yeah, at Kroger, when I was growing up, that was the main grocery store. They don't have them down here in the part of North Carolina we live in. And it's interesting because I've lived in several different places and had different grocery stores. I've lived in places that had Bilo, Food Lion, Winn-Dixie, Harris Teeter. I've lived in other places that were like Publix and Food Lion and Winn-Dixie. And then here, you've got Ingles and Publix and Publix. I'm keeping Walmart out because that's everywhere. What else do we have around here? That's like really it. Ingles dominates. I like Ingles. Ingles is a great grocery here in Western North Carolina. But anyway, no Kroger's. Hey, Rita's here. Hello, Mr. Mountain. Everyone have been watching YouTube videos most of the day. Oh, hope you found some good ones. There's always some great stuff. And I'll tell you what, I really do like thumbs upping all the videos that I enjoy because my homepage is curated with videos that obviously YouTube thinks I'll enjoy. And oftentimes there are. I saw this one really crazy guy. I don't know if you guys have ever come across him. He goes by the name LA Beast, and he's got like 3 million subscribers. He does a lot of crazy stuff, like eats like hottest stuff in the world, or he ate 60 Reese cups, or he ate a bunch of cereal he bought from the 1980s because for nostalgic reasons he wanted to, so he bought a bunch of old expired cereal and ate it. He opens up old baseball cards and basketball cards, just does a lot of interesting, crazy stuff. Kind of makes me laugh. Yes, give me a bite of those steaks. And ribeyes are awesome. Great steak. I mean, I think the pecking order for me would be porterhouse first, T-bone second. Probably, I've grown to enjoy the taste of fat and steaks over the years. When I was years ago, I wanted all lean. Oh, I should have said filet in there. No, probably goes porterhouse, a real filet mignon, not like the cheap ones that are like $3. That are the cheap ones. Those don't taste that good. But like a porterhouse, then a filet mignon, then a T-bone, because the T-bone's a little different, a little thinner cut than the porterhouse, but it's basically the same steak because it's a filet and strip. Then the ribeye, then the strip by its own. And then I think everything below there is, I don't know. I'm not sure. I might be missing some. I do like flank steak. We'll make flank steak once in a while. I was just happy to grill after seeing all the delicious looking food. You're always grilling, right? Well, as I talked about, I don't do any like all day smoking of like brisket or anything crazy like that. Rain, snow, or shine, literally, I will grill. I just, it doesn't matter if it's cold or hot. Maybe the only thing that would stop me, it would be a torrential downpour. Like, I mean, just, cats and dogs, raining cats and dogs. I won't grill in that because you do have to stand out there for a couple minutes and that would get bad. But if it's just like a light to medium rain, I don't mind. I'll grill and let it happen. But yeah, not a torrential down. I have once or twice. It's you're so grumpy after you're done because you're soaking wet. The food probably got wet, and it's just not fun. Steaks always taste better when there's a good sale. That is the truth. I'm always saying what should be a good bumper sticker. There's another one. Steaks always taste better when there's a good sale. That's one of the things I will say, speaking of grocery stores, that does better than Walmart. Like Walmart overall, the prices are always good. But when you go now, I know you can go to like a real butcher shop and stuff like that. I'm going to leave the pro side out of it, and also the big box, Walmarts. So your major grocery stores, oftentimes for competition, because a lot of the stuff in the middle of the store is $1 more expensive on all the processed box food type stuff and breads and crackers, cereal and all that stuff. But they do a good job with the meat, and they can run sales that compete and are often better than what they have at like your likes of your Walmart and stuff. So a lot of times you will get porterhouse that goes on sale, or ribeye or strip or something like that. So when it comes to meat, I do still like to go to the grocery store. Don't forget to hit the likes. I appreciate that if you do like it. I'm always humbled, and I hope you all enjoy this live stream and the chat that we have. We always take it in a whole bunch of different directions, don't we? Larry, looking good and sounding good on my end. Mr. Mountain, thank you. I appreciate that update. Yes. And my mom, I know, Mom, you always enjoyed ribeye, right? Like that's your number one go-to, I thought, because like Dad filet mom ribeye is how I remember it. And if I'm wrong, let me know. But I thought that's what your steak of choice would be. But I'm greedy, and I like the porterhouse because you get both the strip and the filet, and it's just unbelievably delicious. My dad and I went to we'll call it a bachelor party. It wasn't a crazy one, but a bachelor party for my brother-in-law years ago out in San Diego. And we went to this place called the Strip House, which was a play on words because it wasn't actually a strip house. It was in reference to a steak. It was, family restaurant or whatever, but you actually cooked your own steak. Now, this wasn't like a bottom rung place. The steaks you bought raw were like $30 to $40 a piece. They had multiple grills throughout the restaurant, and they would assist you. They were at 700 degrees, so you could sear the steaks. And they had a bunch of different seasonings, which is interesting because you really could ruin a very expensive piece of meat if you didn't cook it right. But the novelty of it, and it was really fun. I remember that's kind of a fun thing. Like, I mean, I guess you could mess it up, but there are so many people around. If you're like, oh, I don't know how to do it, but that's supposed to be the cool part of it, is that you pick out the meat that you want, this type, you cook it yourself. Some people would be like, I don't want to cook it if I go out to a restaurant, better offer me a discount or something like that. But speaking of which, here's another tangent that I always go on. Speaking of restaurants, what do you guys think about, this is going to sound crazy, but what do you guys think about tipping? Like, I do not like tipping at any industry. I would much rather them roll it into the price. At restaurants, roll it in and pay the waiters and waitresses more. It seems like every single thing now wants a tip. I went to Subway like a month ago, and I mean, we've all been going to, everybody here has probably been to Subway for eons, right? And I go to pay with the credit card, and it comes up and says, how much do you want to tip? And I'm like, oh, is this new? And she's like, oh yeah, whatever, it's been there. Well, super awkward. So, you got, but so I put like 10 or 20%. I don't know what I did, but all of a sudden my good deal that I think I had a coupon for $1 off with the tip ended up going back up over the price I expected to pay. And so I just don't like tipping. I don't like the whole thing. I'm serious. I don't want people to get cheated out of money. I roll it into the cost. But actually, like when you go on vacations and such, I love those places that are like, do not tip, like all the tipping is included in all these things. But it's like from the person who picks up your suitcase to the person who cleans your room, to going to the restaurant, to your Uber driver. That was another thing. I was an early adopter. By early, I mean, it's about this point, probably 7 years ago, kind of in the early rung of using Uber and stuff. One of the things I loved about Uber versus taxis were you didn't have to tip. The system was such that you didn't even have to hand money. It was all paid through the app. You showed up at your house, you showed up at the airport, you showed up wherever, and you just paid a price. And that was great. It was all worked out. The Uber drivers got what they did. The system was great. Well, along comes the tipping, because I guess they found it wasn't legal or something like that. So states had to start implementing it. And that everything originally, if you've never used Uber or Lyft, was based on the rating rating system. That was the incentive. You could rate your driver, they could rate you. And so that was the incentive. The financial aspect was already figured out. So I didn't like when they started implementing that either. But anyway, I'm not a big fan on tipping. I don't want anybody cheated. Let me make that very clear. Add 20% to my bill or raise the price at Subway. But I don't like all this half in, half out. Like, some people you tip, some people you don't tip. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't like the tipping system. So hopefully that doesn't offend anybody. But again, I don't want to cheat anybody, but I just don't want to do the tipping thing. Let's see. I probably missed a lot of comments here. I love more daylight after work. You bet. I do too. It may not be a steak, but I bet Mr. Mountain appreciate if you would all smash the thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, and then you will get notified every Monday when it's time for Great Talk. I really appreciate it. My guess is that most of the people here are probably subscribed and a friend of the channel. But if there is anybody that is eavesdropping or dropping by, welcome to the live stream, and I hope you enjoy it tonight. I'm with you on that, Mr. Mountain. This is an old comment, so my guess is that was 11 minutes ago. This has to do with the time change. I feel like I get more accomplished during the day when it's dark later. Interesting. I feel the opposite, because I feel it stunts the ability to do anything outdoors. Clean the car. Of course, again, in the winter, you don't have to do much landscaping. Anything in the garage, any kind of outdoor repair, any kind of painting, any kind of fixing. I have this mindset that when it's dark, it's time to wind down. So all of a sudden my head, other than working out, because I will work out at night, but for some reason, everything else, I'm like, oh, it's dark. I guess it's time to get ready for tomorrow. Well, that could be 7:30. You mentioned the buds on the trees. I'm just crazy. I got you. Thank you for connecting the dots. That was a great joke. I'm sorry I missed it. No, we got buds instead of cores. That's right. Right. I need a Miller tree, Foxy. That's right. I like it. Isn't Ingles in the Kroger chain? Not that I'm aware of. Ingles is based in Black Mountain, North Carolina. They are a privately owned, family-owned company. They do not have a public exposure, meaning there's no stock. Kroger, there is stock. So it's a public-facing company, a public-owned company. But if I am wrong on that, let me know. But that is, to the best of my knowledge, Ingles is not under the Kroger umbrella. Did your family ever trade stamps at Stamps Drugstore in Old Hickory Village? My uncle was the owner and pharmacist there. Oh, wow. That's really cool. Mom, you'll have to answer about grandma, because I do not know the answer to that. Trade at Stamps Drugstore. Excuse me. Trade at Stamps Drugstore in Old Hickory, not trade stamps. Pardon me. Yeah, hopefully Mom chimes in. Around 60 today and over 60 tomorrow. Excited for a short warm up before reality hits again. And a month or two down the road, it'll be much better. Foxy wants the vodka tree. All right, so we got everybody's got the tree tonight with the libations going. So that's crazy. That's cool. LA Beast is crazy. Yes. Story has it. He makes me laugh. He's so goofy. You want to know, okay, you guys want to know how I ended up? You probably don't care, but maybe you find this interesting. This won't surprise you. I was searching for behind the scenes of Last of the Mohicans. I think I've seen every single thing that YouTube has to offer, including Into the Dungeons. Well, also filmed very close to Chimney Rock in Lake Lore, North Carolina, was Dirty Dancing. Well, this big guy, that kind of tough looking guy, but he's a funny guy. He looks like a big teddy bear. He actually did a long video about all the filming locations for Dirty Dancing. So in my results search, I saw that video by this guy and I clicked on it, watched it. He did a very good job. And he did. It was really cool to see some of the places. But then I went to search his other videos and he's got a lot of crazy stuff. So he's pretty cool. A margarita tree. That's right. That is awesome. Is anyone else computers glitches or just mine? You have to let me know. Everybody's been giving reports that things are pretty good. Porterhouse, T-bone, sirloin. That's right. Sirloin. Ribeye is my favorite. We now have Aldi in Western North Carolina. We do. They are here and there, but there are some. My mom said yes was there a couple of times, according about the place in Old Hickory. So that's really cool. Evening, Mr. Mountman. Blondie says hello. She's feeling under the weather. I hope you guys feel better or she feels better. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope you're doing well and everything's going well up there in Indiana. My family had steak 3 times this week. That's awesome. Balance it out with some fish or chicken or something else, but that is I love some good steak. Yes, hope she's feeling better. Hope Blondie's feeling better. And now I'm hungry for prime rib. Yes, I am. We usually butcher our own cow with some friends, literally, but we haven't been able to get together and do it this year because of the pandemic. Yes, and hopefully we are on the cusp of things getting much better. And so, yeah, story has it. Prime rib is my favorite with horseradish sauce. Fantastic. Everything is good. I've come to also enjoy horseradish sauce as well. Yeah, my parents did that with our grandparents when I was a kid. 1 cow goes a long way. I don't know anything about that, but I can imagine by the physical mass and all the parts that you could freeze it and it would be really good. Filet mignon is my favorite. Yes, very, very good steak. More cost effective. Correct. Your dad is filet and I am a ribeye. Filet mignon is my special meal. A good one, and that's one of the things at the grocery store is a lot of times they have those, what I was referring to, and I've cooked them a bunch, those cheap bacon wrap fillets that come in a little plastic package, like 2 for $7. They're okay, but they're not real filet. In fact, they might even have like pork mix. I don't know, something like that. I'm back nursing an ear infection. Allergies already getting bad here in Southern Indiana. I hope you feel better. I did not know you were in Indiana. I figured you were in Kentucky because of your name, but it's close to Kentucky. So yes, we do hope it gets better. Maybe I'm bad, but I've never tipped at Subway. No, let me be clear. I tipped at Subway because it was awkward. Because that's why I don't like tipping, because it was like it came up and I was like, oh, am I supposed to tip? And you can press no. And she was like, well, we've always had the cash tip jar. But I mean, I don't know. That's their job to go across the line and build a sandwich. I don't know what, I mean, if they're not serving me at it. Anyway, you guys got my sentiment on that. I look at it like other fast food. Yes. Yes. And hopefully, Kentucky Girl, your allergies feel better. Allergies year round in Ohio Valley, capital of seasonal allergies. Yes. If I go to a restaurant, I always leave a tip. Oh, of course. I don't ever not tip. I'm just saying I'd be happy if my bill would just automatically be 20% higher. I mean, I guess you could look at it the other side and say, well, if they didn't do a good job, then I tip less, but I never exercise that option. I've had some lousy meals out and I still do 20% because you never know whose fault it is. Is it the kitchen's problem? What was the problem? So I don't know. Yeah, mine have been kicking me for weeks. My black Jeep is a high yellow because of the pollen. Guess you don't follow your Kahiki tipping theory from your dinner out for Christmas. I don't. Well, Kahiki, by the way, was this really cool Polynesian restaurant in Columbus, Ohio. It's a shame that it ever closed. If anybody had ever been there back in the day, please let us know. That was one of the coolest restaurants ever. I do not remember what I did. I did treat the family for Christmas. I used my paper route money and I took everybody out to Christmas dinner, probably when I was like 14 or 15 years old. But you have to refresh my memory on the tipping part. The employer should pay a decent salary. And if people want to tip because of really good service, that would be fine. Food servers are paid half minimum wage in most places. It can get rough. Yeah. So what I would propose is that they don't get that, like that base salary of like $2.50 or $5 or whatever it is. Because I just think, get the full pay plus the 20, just some way, just I'll pay it. I just don't want to have to choose like that. I haven't tipped at Subway unless it was a catering order. Right. Okay. And then they have to maybe bring it to you or something. I thought you only tip people who are not making minimum wage. Yeah. And that would be the idea. But and that's exactly right. But how do you know? It's like, well, does the Uber driver make? How about the guy picking up your suitcase at the hotel, which I never do? I'm like, no. I got the muscles. I can do it myself. I don't need you to bellhop to take, my stuff up or park my car or do whatever. So yeah. Yeah. And back to Rita's, which a lot of people are agreeing about. Again, I already showed it, but just people want to tip because of really good service. That would be, I guess that would be a good thing. Like if it was just standard, but it was kind of like an above and beyond kind of thing or something like that. Isn't it embarrassing that in this country we pay somebody $7.35? Yeah, I haven't been into all of the politics, but I understand that they're proposing bounce between $12 and $15 an hour. And the House and Senate just passed the COVID relief bill. I believe it was $12 an hour. If I'm wrong on the current events, you'll have to forgive me, but I get the drive-by news. So it's considered a taboo to tip in some cultures. They fail to do so when they come to the US. Okay. Yes. And I can understand that. That's even furthermore, like, don't make people feel awkward. They came here. They don't know that's the best practice. They go to dinner, they pay, they put some cash down or their credit card. And then they, okay, yes, it says tip, but maybe they don't know what that is for. And then, and then somebody's really upset. The person who's the waiter or waitress. I can ride in my car in Poland. Yeah. How was everybody's weekend? It was great. Trying to think what it did. Just some errand running, working out, spent time with the family, did a little clothes shopping for the family. Wasn't warm. It was cold and windy, but it was sunny. So that's all that matters, I guess, right? If I go to a restaurant, I always leave a tip. Yeah. And by the way, I want to make that really clear in case anybody walked away. I don't stiff anybody from a tip. I'm going to say it for the 100th time. Just don't like the system of tipping. Let's figure it out so everybody gets paid whatever they need to get paid and then incorporate it into the bill. So I pay one thing. Waitresses and waiters don't make that much per hour and the tip helps them out, but only if the service is good. I will tell you this. There have been times over the years where I've gotten to know waiters and waitresses at restaurants, establishments, whatever, like because I would attend regularly. And one of the things I didn't like, though, I understand it, but I didn't like it was they wanted cash tips. And they wanted cash tips so that it was basically an under the table thing so that they could report less on their taxes. Now, I get that. I get it because they're not making much money in the struggle, but the rest of us can't do that get W-2s directly from whatever money we're making from our employer. I think that's a shady thing. Like, let me get the cash tips because if you put a credit card tip, then I have to report it versus the cash tip, which I can just pocket and nobody will know. And then I can, report less about what I make and stuff like that. So that aspect of it, I never really liked because, again, the majority of folks that are not in that industry aren't doing that. You're honestly reporting what you're making. I'm glad you figured that out. I've been racking my brain wondering what she meant. Video is better now. Good. Somebody had mentioned the other week, and it is true. Sometimes it's on my end that the video, particularly on the Mr. Mountain channel, but in general, if you're having problems on your end, maybe you have that terrific internet like I do. There is a little gear icon in the bottom right of YouTube, and you can adjust the quality of the video on your end. It's defaulted to auto, and the logic from YouTube will determine your download speed and what the best video resolution is for you, but you can change it up or down. If you change it up from whatever auto is set at and it decides, you're probably going to have some lag. If you put it down, it's obviously going to be easier. Wow, I didn't know Ingles was privately owned. I stopped in Ingles in 2017 while visiting North Carolina. Very nice store. It is. I do like Ingles. Flavored coffee? Sure, I like flavored coffee. Black coffee too, but I like flavored coffee. More of a tea drinker. Ted and Deborah Harrison like it. I was going to watch that a couple nights ago, and they took it off Prime this month. Oh, was it Dirty Dancing or Last of the Mohicans? Sometimes if you find a movie that you like, by the way, in general, anybody, they're getting to the point where if you buy it, you can buy them digitally and own them forever. And sometimes they go on sale, whether you get them on Vudu, Amazon, or wherever. A lot of them are connected, and Google. And so, sometimes like, I'm just going to spend the $10 or $12.99, own this movie, and I'll own it digitally, and I can watch it from wherever. I like coffee in the afternoons, but not in the mornings. Oh, okay. That's cool. And so Ted and Deborah Harrison, we do. The caramel brulee frap at Starbucks. Okay, that's cool. Let's see. Let me try to catch up. Good. Yep. Mr. Mountain, what area of Old Hickory did your grandparents live? I was raised in a park called Rayon City, very close to DuPont. Hopefully my mom can field that again. If not, I'll have to ask my grandma. And next time I'm talking to her and let you know. I will try to find that out. I can't turn down any steak or meal for that matter. Yeah. Well, steak especially, right? Chad says, nice talking to everyone heading out. Good night, Mr. Mountain. Everyone have a great week. You as well. Hope you have a wonderful week. Hope my favorite flavor in coffee is whiskey and some whipped cream. Oh, okay. Is that like an Irish coffee? No, coffee. Wait, my favorite flavor in coffee is whiskey and some whipped cream. Okay. Kind of like a dessert, a little bit like a dessert drink, right? If they ever raise the minimum to 15, that would alleviate the tip. Yeah, as long as they don't do the same system where it's like, all right, but waiters and waitresses still make $7.50 or however they do that math. They have to make everybody earn that. I have a daughter that works at Chipotle and another at Panda Express. Both make $12 an hour. Oh, good. But that was probably the employer jumping ahead of the game, right? And being decent to their employees. By the way, I am a big fan of both of those restaurants. I eat at Chipotle by often, I'd say probably twice a month at least. And Panda Express is kind of my go-to if I'm traveling at an airport because I like the Asian food and the selection with rice and chicken and vegetables and stuff like that. I do like Panda Express. Costco raised their minimum starting pay to 16 this week. Love to see the employers not have to wait until somebody forces their hand. That's pretty cool. No one should work full-time and still be at the federal poverty level for income. Absolutely agree. Should be posted at each restaurant so the customer can judge for him or herself what they want to do. Yeah. I guess what I advocate for is just simplicity and a one price thing. I mean, before you know it, it's going to be like, the person checking you out at the grocery. I'm not talking about somebody taking groceries to your car, but they'll be like, would you like to leave a tip? There'll be like a cash jar there for them. Check. It's like, no, that's your job. I don't know. Please remember to hit the thumbs up, everyone. Thank you. I appreciate that. AZ Rock. Thank you again. Starting pay is around $8.50 per hour. Around where Kentucky Girl is in Indiana. That's very cool. I like that. Some nurses do not make that. What Larry was talking about for the minimum wage. And that is terrible. Foxy. Yes. All, especially in the medical. I thought even like CNAs, kind of, and some of the nurses should always make, that's terrible if they're not getting that. You were going to leave all the rest of your paper route cash left after you bought dinner, which was way, way too much. We tipped in Ireland the first couple of times we were over there. Right. So 2 different sentences there. Okay. So I must have been like, maybe the bill there, we had a lot of people there. Maybe it was like $150 and maybe I had like 250 and said, oh, I'll just give it all. And you're like, no. We don't need to leave $100 tip. I vaguely remember that. That sounds like me just wanting to be like, hey, let's make them happy. We tipped in Ireland the first couple of times we were over there. And I'm assuming by that, you mean you don't tip, right? But you did. And they're like, don't do that. Yes, they should, Foxy. Yes. Nurses, teachers, nurses, techs, teachers, social workers. There are a lot. What drives me crazy is when all these people nitpick at the school system and cut this and cut that. And I'm like, these teachers are doing wonderful work for our future generations. And these sour, grumpy people are nitpicking at like a tiny raise for, I don't understand it. And they don't need more and stuff. Are you kidding me? I don't know. I agree. I could agree more with you. Last of the Mohicans. Yeah. Oh, obviously with me, I bought it. I owned it on VHS, then Blu-ray. No, excuse me, VHS, then DVD, then Blu-ray. And now I have the digital copy so I can watch it from anywhere. Most nursing assistants make just above minimum wage. LPNs make just above that in many institutions. That is crazy. Is that a state thing? Because I know you said you've been in Georgia. That's terrible. I've been a waitress. It doesn't matter a lot how much tips you claim, who your employer allocates on your W-2 and what they say you made. So do they decide then? They just figure out as a preset calculation, Kentucky Girl, on that. I would be interested. And the nice restaurants wouldn't accept them. That was in reference to Ireland, about that. And if the tips get split, I have heard of that as well, that everything goes together and then gets divided, sometimes by the kitchen staff as well, right? Like the cooks and stuff. So it all goes together. But again, if it's cash, somebody can, anyway, that I'm sure it's a little different everywhere. Not where I worked. I was shocked at tax time when I found out the employer gets to allocate your W-2 what they say you may, not what you claim. Yes. Can't wait to try the Klondike Donut Wake Me Up coffee. Oh, cool. And hello to Gypsy and the Vanilla Girl. Hope you're doing well and having a very nice week. Had Panda Express this week, orange chicken and fried rice. Yeah. One of the things I really like there too is they have this like shrimp. It's like an extra $1.50, but it's like this shrimp. Maybe it's fried shrimp. I don't know. They're fried. Actually, I love all the stuff there. They also have them at the mall sometimes. The Inside Scoop. Yes. Oh, Mom did answer. Old Hickory. Granddad ran the Old Hickory Puckett's board dock, which just collapsed under snow, which we just talked about the other week. And that is wrong, Kentucky Girl. That is true about, so the employer is choosing the tip allocation. All the more reason to get rid of the whole system, because if they're doing one over and figuring out an amount that's not the actual amount that's tipped, that's shady as well. They should just have listen, anybody can do their job poorly. Like, there's no reason to have waiters and waitress be relying on tips, because the idea is, well, depending on how well they do, the customer chooses the tip. Well, there's a lot of things in the service industry that people can do poorly and are not based on tips. I mean, any walk of life, when you go up and somebody checks you out at the gas station, at the convenience store, we don't rate on how well they rung us up and then give them up to a 20% tip based on it. And I understand we could break it down and say, well, the service is extended if you're at a restaurant and all this stuff. It's just an old practice that needs to go by the wayside. They need to make a wage and be judged like the rest of us are. If you're not a good waiter or waitress, it's in your review with your management. If you don't do well, maybe they'll let you go. If you do really great, maybe you get promoted to head waiter or head, this, or going to management. I mean, just like every other walk of life. I don't know. I just don't, I don't know. That's just my opinion. It doesn't mean it's right. My opinion could be way off. And hello to everybody here saying howdy, howdy, howdy. Yes. They need to be paid much more. Yes. And I think that also hurts in that system, because they're like, oh, well, you'll get tips so you can make extra, just work harder. No, just pay them a great wage. And let's see here. Oh, Gypsy and the Vanilla Gorilla say they make bank. I'm assuming that was in reference to nurses. Most people gripe about teachers making too much and need to spend a day in the classroom. Absolutely. I mean, I think that's every walk of life, right? Like, somebody needs to walk a mile in somebody else's shoes. There are some people that just get it. Like, I am not a teacher, haven't been a teacher, but I am so complimentary of the teachers and what they do. And again, there's a lot of professions that don't make much. Think about a social worker. And that's just an underappreciated, underpaid job, a very difficult job, depending on what type of social work is being done. I mean, you can go on down the line. Let's see. Yes, CNAs and LPNs oftentimes are the true hands-on care for the people you need in medical settings. Absolutely. Very good. Yeah, RNs, registered nurses make good, but not the certified nurse assistants. And isn't LPN licensed practitioner? I forget I'm not my trade. It jumped. Senior teacher administrators in our districts make $200,000 to $300,000. Well, Todd, report back, because I'm sure there's some people $200,000 to $300,000 for a teacher. That's incredible. I've not heard of that before. That would be news to me. I think most people associate teacher pay, now not senior teacher pay, but teacher pay, in the 30, 40, 50, 60 range, depending on, elementary, high school, middle school, that kind of stuff. If you were in service, you just should be nice. Just saying, been there, done that. Yes. I make a good salary as an agency, but I have no benefits and have to carry my own malpractice insurance. Right. I think that goes for a lot of industries. If you go on your own, or contracting or consulting, and a lot of things, you might get increased hourly dollar amount on paper, but no paid time off because you're not under employer, no health benefits, insurance, and all that other stuff that has to be paid out of pocket. After they get tenure, they make good money, but if they don't get their rank 1 or master's degree or higher, they don't get paid anymore. Good point. Bought my first house on $8 an hour. Interest rate was 15%. So interest rate being 15%, I'm guessing maybe the 80s, when interest rates were between, I think, 20, maybe 10 and 20%. It wasn't until the 90s when I believe they started to come down. I remember in the 2000s, when interest rates started getting around 6 and 7%, and that was like a huge deal. And just recently, 30-year mortgage rates were under 3%. So it's gotten a lot cheaper to borrow money for a house than it was 30 years ago. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody's comments there. If I did, feel free to put it back in. With that, let's go ahead and yes. Oh, I got it right. 1989. I was within the decade at least, as far as when that house based on that percentage rate. Let's go ahead and take a talk about news notes for the week of March 8th, 2021. Not a whole lot to report on the channel. I have been using, we had seen since about a week ago after the live stream, I had the ability to create a community post. I think most of you, we have a intimate community here still, have seen that, but basically the ability to create a community post, meaning I can communicate to you all other than a way outside of Twitter, which I think is, as I mentioned last week, I think that Mr. Mountain account is done. I'll just need to make another one if I want to do Twitter anymore. But I did announce when the live stream would be tonight. It should show up in your feed. If it doesn't, here's what you can do. You can go to the Mr. Mountain YouTube channel and click on the community tab. That's on mobile or on the web, and you will be able to see the announcement. And as always is tradition, I usually post a few hours before. Some people don't care. They just wait till the notification comes up and they don't have any problem. Some people like to know. It doesn't matter either way. It's just a cool way that I can communicate and say other things, maybe if a video is coming out or something like that. So look for the community posts. I'm going to start to leverage that. Hey, Big Daddy is here. Hey, everyone, late to the party, catch up. I like steak, drink coffee in the morning on the way to work. I don't tip at Subway. This is great. And teachers, healthcare workers, instead of making bar. Big Daddy, I love the synopsis. That is fantastic. And I think that was the thing of the night. Yes, we don't need to tip at Subway. Only Mr. Mountain Man got once over on him because it was an awkward situation. And I tipped however many dollars for somebody making me a sub. I think you caught it all. You did a great job. Yes. Community tab is great. It is super great. As you've seen, I've done no mobile live streams yet, which is usually the big three for hitting 1,000 is, I'm having a brain fart on the words. Okay. Community posts, mobile live streams, and why am I? Oh my goodness! Take a drink of water, Mr. Mountain Man. Mm, monetizing the channel. That means the ability to have ads and get money for the channel, which for most people that I've ever witnessed is like you just do it. If anybody's noticed, nobody's watching ads on my channel yet. I have not activated monetization because I haven't decided, to be quite honest, and this is perfect for the housekeeping. I have not decided on what I want to do with monetization. I have three different thoughts. One is don't do it. Just let people watch all the content without having to watch ads or wait 5 seconds and hit the skip ad thing. I do this as a hobby. I'm not looking for the income from it, and it's not, it's not necessary. And I've already invested in all the equipment that I need for the most part. And I just think it would be nice for my community to not have to watch the ads. Doesn't mean that's going to happen in the long run. I'm just saying that's one thing that's crossed my mind. The second thing is that I turn it on and donate a good portion of it to charity. And I thought it would be fun to do it on the live stream. And, be like, hey, let's, donate to St. Jude's or to, whatever. Could be, whatever charity. And, donate a portion. And then the third thing is to go ahead and monetize it like everybody else, and then reinvest that money back into the channel, or whatever else. I don't. I will tell you this. So somebody just posted here, Foxy Wolf did, because I'm going to tie into this. For tools, tips, and how to, make sure you visit Mr. Mountain Man's alter ego, The Eclectic Candyman. That is my other YouTube channel. A lot of stuff about tools and repairs and stuff. That channel, I know what I would do. If I get 1,000, I probably will monetize. And guess what I will use at that money? If anybody knows me, they already know. That channel is based on a lot of getting new tools and stuff like that, and then showing them to the community. That I would probably use and buy more Craftsman tools and then make fun videos about the Craftsman tools. So that is a perfect cycle over there. But Mr. Mountain Man's a little different because a lot of times I'm just visiting places and such. So it's different. So I have a little bit more of a clear plan that I would reinvest that on the Eclectic Candyman side of the fence back into tools so I could create more content and let the circle of the YouTube channel thing go there. But over here on Mr. Mountain Man, I haven't decided. So if for some reason you see ads pop up in the future, I'll be transparent about whatever I'm going to do with it. It'll either be, whatever. I don't know. At least for the time being. Could my mind change? Absolutely. Is my mind allowed to change? Absolutely. But I just wanted to share with you my line of thinking because I don't follow the typical path of a YouTube creator. I'm not on a path to take over the world. By the way, I don't say that in a negative way. Goal-oriented, driven folks to have very large channels is A+. I am a go-getter in life, and I believe in that. It's just not what I am doing with YouTube. It has to stay in the fun zone. As silly as that sounds, it has to. It cannot be like homework to me. It cannot be a responsibility. I have to keep it in check because I have too much going on in life to let this dominate or feel like, oh my gosh, I haven't produced a video. The community is expecting it. I can't get into that zone. I've made that commitment to myself. It's just that part of my life. I just can't do that. So, yeah. So anyway, there's some a little housekeeping. Hope Faith, I hope you feel better with the health issues. And I'm sorry to hear about the person who passed away this month. Be thinking about you, praying for you. Yeah, and so are others in the community here. How is Dita enjoying her Himalayan salt rock? Well, I would love to get a report. The crazy thing about my sister and I is we are close like this when we get together. And you guys can tell me if that happens with your family. But the minute she leaves, we just don't talk. She works, I work, we do this, I do that, blah, blah, blah. Life goes on and we kind of, and then all of a sudden we get together and it's like it's been no time at all. So I'm not in constant chat with her which is kind of terrible. And I say that every time I see her. I'm like, why don't we talk more? Why don't we get on Messenger and talk more? So it's kind of a bad habit, but life gets busy and you know how it goes. So I don't have a report on the Himalayan salt rock. I will ask, though, Kentucky girl, you know what? I'm just going to ask her right now. And she's not going to respond. I wish she would jump in here to the chat. I'm going to say, hey, Dita, how is that Himalayan salt candle? Do you like it? Let's see if it says she's not active, but we'll check it in. We'll check it. And if I find out, I'll let you know. Some channels do Patreon and merch before they reach monetization. Yes. Listen, and that's fine. That's somebody, trying to grow a community, and they need the money because they too, maybe like my eclectic handyman kind of line of thinking is like, well, if I could get some support on the channel, maybe I could buy some, I don't know if it's travel, let's say it's food. Let's say it's a food channel. And they say, well, eating out is very expensive. I am a food critic and I'm going to be called Mountain Man Eats. And, I'm not, this is not true, but I'm just saying. And you know what? I'm struggling to get subscribers, and I'm not going to get subscribers until I put out more content. But every time I go out to eat, it costs me $40. But I also know there's a small following. So maybe I'll go out there and try to drive, community following through Patreon and t-shirts or whatever, coffee mugs. And then I'll be able to do better restaurants, which will get me more subscribers. There could be that line of thinking, but I don't know. I'd still, I don't, I'll tell you right now, I have zero plans for Patreon. I would not, I don't know. It's not, I'm not going to, the only thing I like about Patreon is kind of the thing of like, ooh, I'm going to make some special content for some people, but I don't even want to do that. Like, because that means they have to pay to do that. But again, I don't have anything against it. A lot of the huge channels like the Diz that I watch, which is a Disney channel, they have Patreon, they have early releases for it and stuff like that. So yeah, Larry said he'd watch with ads. Yes. And I appreciate that. By the way, all you have to do is wait 5 seconds and then hit skip. So, sorry for your loss, and he's in a better place. Tragic death, did not expect it. We are all sorry for the loss. Hope, faith, and yes, prayers. Oh, drowned. Oh my goodness, that's awful. Yeah, in a better place. Yes, we will forget what you are talking about by the time the ad is over. Right? I know. I watched an ad today. What was it about? I was going to bring it up. I don't usually watch the ads in full. I don't know if that makes me a bad YouTube follower, but I don't have time to watch like a 6-minute ad. The only time I watch a full ad is inadvertently, like if I'm taking a shower and I put YouTube on, in the background to listen to it. And then in the middle, an ad comes on and it'll be the one where like, do you know that if you shop on Amazon, you can make $3,000 a week? Yeah, this is no joke. It's just like this crazy, terrible ad about stuff. I know what it was. There was an ad I saw today that was this girl. She was like in high school or college, and it was like a real somber commercial or ad on YouTube. And it was like, she's thinking in her head, she's like, I make a commitment to give you a bunch of my money, to be in charge of my finances, to make decisions for me. And I'm thinking, who is this going to be? Well, like, what's the reveal? Is it her parents? Is it her employer? And then at the very end, like a cigarette rolls up on the table, and it's basically saying like, don't get into smoking because, it's expensive and your life and all that stuff like that. So every once in a while there's an ad that I'm like, I really want to see what that's all about. I can't do vids live stream. My face would break the internet. Hey, I don't, it doesn't matter. Anybody can have a YouTube channel. The biggest thing I would say about it is you have to enjoy it. Now that sounds obvious, right? Like everybody's like, oh, of course you would enjoy it. It's a lot of work. And I'm going to explain what's going to happen. This is natural. By the way, you don't have to listen to me. If you don't make it a lot of work and try to shortcut the quality and production and stuff like that, It's very difficult to have a successful channel. It just ends up being a bunch of stuff. And it might be neat for a couple people, but the masses won't follow. So just a lot of raw, unedited. Now, I'm not saying that style doesn't work. I'm sure you guys can give a bunch of examples, but that raw, unedited stuff better be walking around Walt Disney World or flying to Europe or walking around the Swiss Alps or, something really cool. Or it could also be unedited. I've seen some channels that aren't related to travel or anything like this, where somebody will put a camera down and they're building a little model or something like that live, or something like that. So there are ways to make it good, but even those that I've seen, the lighting is good, the audio is good. They know what they're doing, and so there's no way to shortcut it to make YouTube easy. It's always work. It's always a lot of invested work and thinking and planning and editing and creativity. And so if you don't enjoy that, it'll get on your nerves after about X amount of time, maybe 6 months or a year. And that's why I think you see a lot of YouTube channels fade away. Even successful channels. There's some weightlifting people I watched that would have 800, 900,000 subscribers. And then all of a sudden they're only putting a video out every 6 months. I don't know. There's just no drive. They have something else going on in life, whatever. Yeah. Let's see here. Catching up. Dita was here for the weekend. Don't know about the Salt Rock. Her car. Yes, she got a new car. Car was very old. It had over 200,000 miles. When I went with her to Chimney Rock, we stopped at AutoZone and I bought her oil and put it in her car. And I didn't have a funnel, and it was super, super windy that day, as you know in the video. And I'm trying to pour it in the parking lot. It's like pouring. It's like pouring on the ground on the concrete, and I'm making a mess. She got she got a blue Ford Escape. And yes, we all support you, Todd, if you want to do a live stream. Cobalt blue. It was very nice. Yes, it was. It looks really, really nice. My daughter was working at Chipotle last night, and a guy came through in the line wearing a traveling Robert shirt. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, a lot of people, do that. The political ads are the ones I want to kick into another land. Right. Do you know that on the ads, you can click it? Now, it does not. I'll tell you a story why it doesn't work. There was a glitch. You can click it and say inappropriate, or I don't want to see this ad. Don't worry. YouTube will find another ad that will work for you. But one day I hit inappropriate, or I don't want to see this ad, and it was political. And I would click on the video again. It kept showing it over and over and over. And I kept clicking like, I don't want to see this ad. I don't want to see this. Every time I've done it before, it worked. But this particular time, there was some glitch where it didn't take and just kept showing it. Hey, Hike with Mike. Hope you're having a great start to your week. Nice Monday, and everything's going well down for you there in Florida. Oh goodness, yeah. I bet you Georgia was the king of the hill when it came to political ads. Just a lot going on down there. I haven't learned how to do voiceovers. New tool to use was kind of emergency. You have to use it. Yeah. What I should have done, and I was impatient, was the Chimney Rock clip that was ruined. And I mean, I have a great microphone, but the Chimney Rock clip that was ruined, I just as easily could have done a voiceover on that. But I'd had to move some of this equipment to where the computer that I edit, it was a lazy, I hate to use that word. It's kind of strong. It was a time thing. I was like, I want to get this video out, and I didn't want to spend an hour, moving equipment and doing all that stuff. My dreams got interrupted by political ads. I know. And you handled it well. Good job. Much better. Just kind of funny I couldn't get the voiceover link to my lips. Such a good brother. You'll have to ask Ditda. Yes, Larry did a good job. All right, let me get back to that. Sorry, that wasn't news and notes. That was housekeeping. I'm always messing it up. That was all housekeeping. I was talking about housekeeping, about monetization and all that stuff. Let me share. What do we got over here? We don't have anything. We only have one picture. Mr. Mountain Man, you did not do a good job this week on Instagram, sir. And now you guys can make fun of me because I'm speaking of myself in the third person, which is very tacky and unnecessary. But what I'm saying here is there's only one new post. It's the burgers on the grill with some pork chops and some asparagus. Oh, it did have two pictures. Asparagus looks good, right? That's olive oil, salt, and pepper. And then that dude goes right here on the left side of the grill. And then you got the burgers, which I did put cheese. And there were some pork chops that had been seared and they were finishing up cooking. Did that on Saturday this week. And yes, they look very good. Thank you very much. And so that's all I have for Instagram this week. So that wraps up the housekeeping for the week of March the 8th, 2021. Now let's go over to news and notes. And without further ado, let me go straight into that so I do not delay anymore as my voice begins to be a little bit of a challenge. If you ever notice some of the other live streams that have one person, maybe two people, or maybe a group of people, if it's a group of people, they tag team it. If it's two people, they might tag team it also. If it's one person, a lot of the live streams, including the carpetbagger and other people that are much larger channels, they'll go with long periods without talking. They'll just read the comments. Yeah, Joe, pretty cool. But if you listen to my live stream, blah, 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 I don't be quiet. My voice starts to take a little toll. It's like nonstop entertainment for you all. I hope it is. News and notes for the week of March the 8th, 2021. Let me get my stuff here going. We got a screen. We're going to do a tab. We got this guy right here. We are going to, come on, present. My mouse is freezing up here. And now this one should generate some conversation, maybe, hopefully. All right, here we go. This is from people.com. So this is not a Western North Carolina ad or article. Disney cast members report being spat on, harassed by guests who don't comply with the safety protocol from the article. A Walt Disney World. Oh, and I appreciate that, Rita. That was very kind of you to say that. That's why we like your live stream. You talk to us. I definitely am talking to you all, and hopefully you enjoy this. And thank you, Ted and Deborah Harrison. That is very, very polite. Very polite. Very humbled by your all positive feedback. A Walt Disney World cast member reported being spat on. By the way, can anybody tell me why they say spat, not spit? Is that the proper English phrasing of it? Because if I use the grammar, I would say that person spit on me. Or maybe spatting is a different thing. Or it's past tense. You don't spit, you spat. Or like Mary Poppins, spit spot, but that's not spat. Anyway, a Walt Disney World cast member reported being spat on by resort guests while trying to enforce safety protocols amid the ongoing pandemic. In a report published by the Orlando Sentinel, a Disney security guard that was stationed at Disney's Contemporary Resort Hotel detailed the incident when they reminded a guest to put their mask on before walking into the building. The male guest, who is not identified by name by the publication reportedly told the guard, "I'm a guest," and asked to be left alone before he allegedly spat at the guard with some of his saliva landing on the guard's forehead, which honestly in today's day is, with the pandemic, is kind of no different than, I don't know, like throwing a knife at somebody. The outlet added that the man then hurried inside the hotel like a coward. That's my words, by the way, where he entered an elevator bank and disappeared. He was unable to be identified by the people following the incident. A representative for Disney told People the isolated incidents don't reflect the majority of rule-abiding parkgoers. Guests have overwhelmingly been supportive of our protocols. Millions of guests visit our theme parks each year, and in rare instances when things of this nature occur, we hold them accountable. The representative said, noting that similar occurrences have been happening across the hospitality industry. There's never a day. This was another person speaking. There's never a day when I don't have a story. Another employee who took on a new role enforcing mask rules in the Disney Springs parking garages after her previous job was terminated told the Orlando Sentinel, "I cried the first week I started. It was not a good time at all. Imagine going to work every single day where people ridicule you. I've had a guest literally get right up in my face and literally curse me out," she added to the publication If I honestly didn't have good coworkers, I would have quit by now. Well, speaking of the hospitality and service industry, there's no place for this. These people are morons. The people that are doing this to the cast members, I can only imagine. You all know I go to the gym, and at first they had a strict mask wearing protocol, and I always wore it, and I abide by the rules. But there were a lot of people that were not, and in the thick of it, I wasn't too keen on that. I was trying to be safe. I was doing my part. Why didn't the other people do it? But I came to realize very quickly that the people who worked at the gym are not bouncers, and they are not wanting to play um, enforcers. And so I knew it. They were scared, or hesitant or timid to do it. Not because the big gym people or something like that. It's just uncomfortable. Um, a huge amount of the population made the mask wearing about being a political issue, which was absolutely horrible, instead of science. And so people think they're making a political point by going against this. And like it was a human rights thing or something, and people were being denied their civil liberties. And so people made political points, and at the short end of it, got a lot of very, very nice people. This is a very unfortunate story. Yeah, that's horrible. So I feel real badly for the workers. I hope that we're gonna get to the end of this thing, and things will get better. But I hope people are not, nobody here is, but I hope people don't be. I mean, we talk a lot about high service areas like Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. There's Dollywood. There's a lot of places. It's just unacceptable. People who act like that. If they would have caught that guy at Disney, he would have been banned from the parks forever. I know it. They will ban people for less than that. And again, like a coward, he did his little political statement and ran off and hid. Yeah, that was cheap. Past tense. Thank you. If that's spat, great interaction. I appreciate it on the live stream. You have that kind of voice that keeps you listening and interested, even if you talked about a clump of dirt. Well, I appreciate that. Maybe sometimes, well, technically mountains are big clumps of rocks and dirt. So in an ironic way, I am probably talking about clumps of dirt when I talk about the mountains. That is disgusting, Larry. If you spit on someone, isn't that assault? I don't know the legal side. It makes sense to me. That's disgusting. AZ Rock says they think it is. I am sorry. My mouse keeps freezing. And what is going on here? I think it is, Ted and Deborah, and or AZ Rock said, and Hope Faith said, yes, it is. And yes, my words exactly, a coward. Spitting on someone is nasty. They need to be knocked out. It is. It's terrible. Could you imagine some nice guy or girl sitting there at Disney Park wearing those outfits? Hello, sir. Could you please put on your mask? That's awful. Yeah. So Kentucky Girl left. Family needs the Roku. Sorry I didn't get to say goodbye to you before you left. I hope you have a wonderful week. Absolutely unacceptable. I can't imagine spitting on anyone, especially during the pandemic. Should have been permanently barred from all Disney parks. And as I didn't see the comment yet, but that's absolutely what would have happened. I mean, what'd the guy do? Run to his room and be like, oh, that was great. I don't know. Just idiot. Animals. I thought Walt Disney World was the happiest place on earth. And it normally is. This is, one of the things, without getting too political about the past year, but unfortunately, some of these events have brought the worst out in people. Rather than having discussions or having, mature opinions or, talking about pros, whatever, people have gotten outright just, violent and disgusting. And it's been a rough year. It's been a rough year. Hey, all about the Smokies. Hey, Mr. Mountain Man, hello to you. I hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Thank you for joining us. If somebody spits on you, I think having a CCW should come. What's a CCW? I thought it was, you were about to say like concealed weapons permit, but that would be, I don't know what, or CCW should come. I don't know. Can you help me out with the acronym? I'm sorry. My daughter was spat on for asking a customer to wear a mask. Cowards are all around us. I'm sorry to hear that, Todd. That's terrible. That is awful. They get called lots of anti-maskers in the Chipotle. I don't see where so-called adults get off cussing out teenage girls. Yeah, we listen. Well, you guys know I go on tangents. We are in a very me centric culture these days. Think about it. We're all part of it. Post something to Facebook. How many likes do I get? Post a YouTube video. How many likes do I get? How much can I be appreciated? How great of a job am I doing? Like it's and you particularly listening may not be wrapped up in this, but a good majority and a lot of the younger generation is getting wrapped up in this too. In a me centric, me focused society, tends to people get irritated, offended very quickly. Somebody cuts you off in the road. That's my spot. How dare they cut me off or take my spot in line at the register or get that gas pump before me or, or whatever. In fact, I've been trying to make a point out in society to go the extra length to pay attention at the grocery store. Like if somebody comes up behind me with one or two items or they have kids and I'm not with my kids, why don't you go in front of me? Or letting that person have the gas pump or letting the person who got to the stop sign a little later go through. Just small, tiny acts of kindness to hopefully hope people, run up and open the door for somebody going into the fast food place or to the, whatever. I mean, it's all minuscule little stuff. I don't know if it's making a difference, but just trying to be polite, maybe complimenting somebody. Sometimes I'll be out and see somebody with a Steelers hat and, hey, that's a great hat, cool, go Steelers, just make somebody, feel better, not blowing sunshine, but just trying to be polite. Sorry to hear about those experiences for your family. I'll tell you what, I worked in retail, as I mentioned before, back in the day at Blockbuster Video in the heyday of video rental. And while that, I took those lessons for life. A lot of the things you had to become a tremendous communicator at that job because somebody approaches you and they have two videos. And I may have told this anecdote before, but I'll tell it again. They have two videos. So in their head at that time, that would have been roughly $7. And you say, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Jones, you have a $38 late fee. Oh my gosh. Boy, people would get so mad at me. Oh my gosh, about reach over the counter and they wanted to strangle me. Because you don't go to the auto mechanic, to McDonald's, to the grocery store, to wherever, and they tell you have an additional balance. You have an idea in your head of what you're going to pay, but the video store, you get these surprises. And also, people didn't realize back in the day that a VHS tape cost $100 on initial release until it came down to the $20. So if somebody would lose a tape, they're like, all right, what do I owe you? 15, 20 bucks. And we're like, $129.99. They're like, what? What do you mean 130? They don't cost 100. They're like, yeah, that video is not out for general release yet. And so you had to become a tremendous communicator at that job. Thanks for the prayers on behalf of my Uncle Calvin this week. It's been a rough week. And again, everybody's thinking about you. I hope things are going well. Let's see here. My daughter is assistant manager at a restaurant. She gets cussed out by customers who don't want to follow guidelines, but never spat on. Good. I mean, not good that she's getting yelled at, but yeah. Oh, and that was concealed carry weapon. Okay. I thought CEDA. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that somebody's got to have the gall to do that to another person because that's another thing. Forget about spatting or spitting on somebody. There's a lot of loose cannons out there. You just, in general, you never know when somebody's just going to go off the rails. And so that's tough to do. No offense, but Karens, both male and female alike, suddenly abound everywhere. By the way, there's a great channel. I think it's on YouTube or maybe it's on Twitter about like all these videos of people just like what they call Karens, like going crazy, at people. And it's always like, I saw one, it'll be like, some lady, you guys may have seen this one because it's pretty famous. Some lady got upset at the gas station because the checkout, something didn't go her way. So the guy was recording her and then posted it, went viral, and she came back. She's like, I'm going to have my lawyers sue you and all this stuff. That was crazy. I think being cooped up for months, staying at home in their echo chambers, eventually that bottled up anger explodes out and people doesn't make it right. Yeah, no, it absolutely doesn't. I mean, as adults, I get cabin fever, but we all have to, hey, go for a walk. Anger management. I mean, there's just no excuse for people to do that. Agreed. It doesn't make it right. Absolutely. It takes a big person to cuss out anybody. It's just inappropriate, especially in the service industry or whatever. Yeah. The Karen videos are funny. Afterwards, my daughter quit the job because of that kind of behavior, only to have the store manager berate her for leaving. I'm thinking of applying for her old position. I spit back, right? Yeah. And I think the biggest thing, I think all of us could struggle with this, is to truly be the bigger person and let somebody have their way, have the final word, be wrong, have the louder voice, all those type things. It's hard because we want to fight back. We want to say how it's supposed to be. And we want to say, but you gotta, it's tough. I do kind of wish that they had chosen a name like Lula May or something less common. Yeah. I'm sorry. I missed the reference to the last one. Maybe it was a conversation, but yeah. So that's unfortunate. I thought that would generate a little conversation, but yeah. Next up. Well, this one's kind of a, bummer type thing too, but nothing bad happened. But the article entitled from the Charlotte Observer, 6 earthquake in a year recorded in a mountain county in Western North Carolina. Of course, Western North Carolina. Small mountain county in Western North Carolina just recorded 6 earthquake in 12 months, scientists said. The 1.6 magnitude quake happened around 8 p.m. Sunday in Henderson County, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. The town, about 7,100 people, is 18 miles south of Asheville. A quake of that magnitude is too mild to be felt by most people, and no witness accounts. The magnitude, location, and depth of an earthquake and overlying soil conditions determine how widely and strongly any particular event can be felt, the USGS says. Typically, people report feeling earthquakes larger than 3.0. Henderson County is not known for earthquakes, but is marked the 6th time in 12 months one has been recorded. The others ranged from 1.9 to 2.3, including 3 earthquakes near Valley Hill, May 4th, one at Laurel Park, April 30th, and one at East Flat Rock on March 16th. Earthquakes in North Carolina are typically mild and happen in the mountainous western part of the state. However, the Sparta community near Allegheny County's Virginia state line has had a series of quakes since August 9, when a 5.1 magnitude caused extensive damage. McClatchy News reported last year it was the state's strongest earthquake since 1916, the National Weather Service said. Boy, there's a lot of services, National Weather Service and Geological Service and Geological Survey and all this stuff. Yeah, anyway, here in Western North Carolina, Karen, by the way, that's what you meant. Karen. Yeah, Karen. Sorry, Karen Lulume. Yeah, that would have been hilarious. Yes, they deserve to be recorded. The name for a male Karen there is a name. Is it a Kevin? Yeah, okay, Kevin. All right. So the earthquakes, it's crazy. I mean, nothing bad happened in here, but it is kind of like, oh gosh, hopefully you never get something crazy. I'm actually not that well educated on if there are any fault lines or plates or whatever, stretching back to like 7th grade science or something like that. But yes, so like living Larry said, as long as they aren't building up to a big one, absolutely. Not that I'm aware about. There was one last year, I think, that a lot of people around town were talking about. It was like on a Sunday morning or something like that. A lot of people had felt it and were on Facebook talking about it, but I hadn't. So anyway, earthquakes, stay away, please. Hey, by the way, that picture there that was from the article, doesn't that look like my background, like on the slide there? They almost look identical. You got to love the Blue Ridge Mountains in this part of the country. The lush green forestry that covers the mountains is why I particularly love the aesthetic of them so much, which is interesting because if you go to the Rocky Mountains, they're much larger, but they are rock. And I just don't care for the look of them as much. I really like when they are covered in trees. There's a strong tectonic plates up and down the Appalachian Trail. Okay, up the Appalachian Trail. Interesting. Maybe makes sense along the line of the mountains. I've never experienced an earthquake that I could feel. It must be very strange. Yeah. I prefer not to have to. Hopefully, yeah. So, next up, this is some good news. And I hope to go to this year. I should have gone to it 2 years ago. It didn't work out. Then we had the pandemic last year. Actually, I'm glad I didn't go 2 years ago. Some of you may have remembered that, unfortunately, like a few people died from going to the fair because a vendor that had hot tubs on display, the moisture and something about the hot tubs not being clean or something, had Legionnaire's disease floating about in the air that people inhaled. And there were several people that died from going to the fair. That is incredibly awful. And so it took them months to figure out from investigation and backtrack why people were getting that. So anyway, 2 years ago, I guess it was a blessing in disguise. It didn't go. Last year, COVID canceled it. But this article from WLOS, Mountain State Fair to return in the fall. North Carolina Agriculture Commissioner Steve Troxler said Wednesday there will be state fairs this fall, and he encouraged people to get vaccinated to ensure the events will be safe in light of the pandemic. Troxler said plans are underway not only to bring back the North Carolina State Fair in Raleigh, but to also hold the Mountain State Fair in Fletcher in September. So for people who aren't that familiar, that's right here in Asheville, very close. A year without a state fair is almost unendurable, Troxler said in remarks streamed on Facebook by the North Carolina Farm Bureau. So we're working very hard to make this the best state fair that anybody has ever seen. And with your help, it will be the biggest state fair that we've ever seen. In July, the 2020 state fair was canceled because of the pandemic. At the Times, officials waited as long as they could, hoping the fair could go on. The state fairgrounds lost $9.2 million in revenue the past year because of cancellations. 2021 State Fair is scheduled for October 14th through the 24th. The Mountain State Fair, which is the one here in town, is scheduled for September 10th to the 19th at the WNC Agricultural Center. So, something to look forward to. Does anybody else think that those fair rides, like they're kind of like, are they up to par? You know, like, I don't know. Like, I trust Disney World, Universal, Six Flags, Carowinds, Cedar Fair, but these traveling fairs where they put together these, I don't know. Like, actually, Larry might remember the Ohio State Fair, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Somebody got killed because one of the bolts broke on one of the spinny type rides and the thing flew off. Very tragic. Now, listen, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I'm not going to ride a ride because one thing happened in the past. But it is kind of crazy. I don't know about these fair ride operators. Maybe somebody knows. They're like, no, I worked in that industry. You don't understand. There has to be like 16 state inspections. It's very, very safe. I would love to hear that if somebody knew. Can I have a drink of water? Give me 1 second. Foxy Wolf says, it is usually over before you realize it. This is in reference to the earthquake, a couple in Georgia and California. Story has it, I echo this. Nothing beats the lush green of the mountains in North Carolina, Tennessee, and Kentucky. You bet. Yes, it is great news. Really missed the fairs and the fest last year. Yes, I like to go to the fairs just for the smell of the food. Love the food. You got the funnel cakes and the big old bratwurst with onions and all that fun stuff. Very, very good. The food is the best part. I don't do rides anymore. I would love to hear, again, if anybody was in that industry and knew and they're like, nope, super, super safe. Ohio State Fair, yeah, that was very tragic. Did you see my video ideas in the chat earlier? I have seen some of them. So Hope, one of the things about my channel, if you've seen, I don't have a lack of, and I absolutely welcome all of the creativity and ideas from everyone. I really do. I have a backlog, a long list of things I want to do, but I just don't have the time. So I am never at a lack of ideas. It's more about the time to actually do stuff. And I'm very thankful for all the patient folks on my channel for the slow release of the canned videos. But I always appreciate the ideas. It's just, this is a hobby. So I'll be quite frank, on average, I'm only releasing 1 or 2 actual videos a month. But the live streams are here. So we got the live streams every week. And as the weather gets nicer, I'm hoping to do more. Yes, they go up so fast, those traveling fairs. Right. I don't read them because I want one of everything. Oh, at the fairs. Yes. I won't ride any fair rides. They aren't always required to have daily inspections like the theme parks. All right. Story has it, you and I are on the same wavelength tonight. A lot of your comments have either been before my thoughts have come out or in line with my thoughts. So, yes, they have really tightened their inspection process after that accident. Okay, that's in reference to the Ohio State Fair. Yes, anything that's being put together and dismantled, because I'm not a metallurgist. I believe that's the correct terminology. These are the people that understand like metal alloys and how things happen. But yes, if you are torquing a bolt and untorquing and torquing a bolt and loosening or removing, eventually maybe there's an integrity issue with the metal and something could break and it could be disastrous. But that is good to hear if they do that. I like going to the fairs just to watch people watch. Yes, people watch is great. People watching is fun. Very, very good right there. Yeah, look at that picture right there. You could get a hot dog or a burger. The food is overpriced, but it's still good. And I think it's a lot of fun. Oh, hey, Brian, coming in on the tail end. I hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. And actually, I am pretty much, y'all. Let me go back. That is the news and notes of the week, March 8th, 2021. And I am pretty much right here at time. I've been on for an hour and a half, and I need to get back to family and stuff. But I hope, Brian, I hope you're doing well. Everybody's saying howdy. Great live stream tonight. Let your voice go get some rest. You know what? Yeah, sometimes after this, I go read to the kids or something, and I'm like, my good gracious, my voice. Thank you for being kind, Rita, and thinking about that. I really appreciate that. Yeah. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the live stream tonight. Again, if anybody was new or newer, welcome to the live stream. For all the regulars that have been here, thank you so much. I really enjoy seeing you all each week. I enjoy the conversation. We always get into some intriguing and neat conversations. I let it kind of go. It's very fluid. And thank you for all the support on the channel. I don't have anything in the hopper right now. For those of you that have an eye over on the Eclectic Candyman, there's just a whole bunch of videos I want to still get out over there. But I have a whole bunch of ideas still on the Mr. Mountain Man channel. It just involves me going to do something. Yeah, anyway, another fun night. I'm glad you had a fun night. Thanks for spending the night. Absolutely. Fun chatting tonight. Everyone have a great week. Yes. Feel better, Faith. I hope you are better, Brian. Yeah. And Blondie and everybody else. Great live stream as always. Remember, don't tip at Subway. I love it. No need to tip at Subway. Just get your sandwich, your potato chips, and drink and have enjoyable lunch. Everyone, please have a safe and wonderful week. Great chat. Hey, don't leave us, AZ. Yeah. Good night, Mr. Mountain Man, and everyone, to you as well. I hope everybody enjoyed. And until next Monday, I'll post on Instagram, community posts, and I hope everybody has a wonderful, safe, happy, and enjoy the week. I hope your weather's nice. I did forget to go to the last slide in the news and notes. We're going to have all 60s and 70s here in the mountains. It'll be cool at night. The weather's getting better. So anyway, everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Good night.